All right, let's talk about the survival code for new traders. Forget trying to predict the future for a second. Today, we're building a simple, powerful framework that's all about one thing: staying in the game long enough to actually win. And it all starts with a question that, let's be honest, probably keeps you up at night. So, you've done the work, right? You've stared at the charts for hours, your analysis is perfect, the setup looks like it's straight out of a textbook, and then you pull the trigger and boom, it immediately goes the wrong way. You lose. It's that gut-wrenching feeling that makes you question everything. How is it possible to be so right about the analysis but so wrong on the result? Well, here's the twist. It probably has nothing to do with your analysis. The real culprits are these silent account killers. First, your risk is out of control, so one bad trade just wipes out 5 good ones. Second, your entries are fueled by FOMO, that fear of missing out, not by a clear, logical signal. And the biggest one? There's no solid, repeatable plan. See, professionals don't survive because they're psychics, they survive because they are masters of their process. So, how do we fix this? It all begins with a huge shift in your mindset. We have to stop trying to be perfect fortune tellers. That's impossible. Instead, we need to become absolute experts at being bodyguards for our own money. And that protection, that bodyguard mentality, it all starts with one core idea. This isn't just some helpful tip, This is the guiding philosophy that every single professional trader lives and dies by. It is the absolute bedrock of a long and successful career. Just let that sink in for a minute. Your first job as a trader is not to make money, it is to not lose money. I know, it sounds completely backward, doesn't it? But think it through. If you make protecting your capital your #1 priority, you guarantee you'll be here to trade tomorrow, and the next day, and the day after that. Profit just becomes the natural byproduct of playing amazing defense, not just trying to score on every play. Okay, so how do we actually build this defense? Let's talk about suiting up with your financial armor. These are the practical, non-negotiable tools you're going to use on every single trade to protect yourself from those account-killing hits. Your first and honestly most important piece of armor is the 1% rule. And it's so simple, it's beautiful. You never, ever risk more than 1% of your entire account on one trade. So if you've got $1,000 in your account, what's the absolute most you can lose on any single idea? $10. That's it. Period. Just this one rule alone makes it incredibly difficult to ever blow up your account. Okay, so now we know how much we can risk, but what about where we place our defenses? Every single trade needs 2 critical points to find before you enter. You need a stop loss. Think of it as your automated ejection seat that gets you out with a small, manageable loss when you're wrong. And you need a take profit, your pre-planned, logical exit to lock in those gains when you're right. These are based on the chart, not on hope. Now, when you put that stop loss and that take profit together, you create a metric that is way more important than your win rate. It's your risk to reward ratio. All it does is answer a simple question. How much do I stand to win compared to how much I stand to lose? This simple piece of math is the engine that drives long-term profit. Let's just look at this visually. If you're risking $10 on a trade, that's your potential loss. You should only even consider it if the potential reward is at least $20. That's a 1-to-2 ratio. Ideally, you want to see $30 or more. With math like this, you can literally be wrong more often than you're right and still come out profitable. This is how the pros do it. All right, we've got our armor on, we know our risk, but how do we decide when it's even time to enter the battlefield? That's where the pre-trade checklist comes in. This is your secret weapon for taking emotion, gut feelings, and guesswork completely out of the decision. I want you to think about this like a pilot before takeoff. They go through a checklist every single time, no matter what. You're going to do the same. 1, is the market trend on your side? Are you swimming with the current? 2, is there a clear pattern or level on the chart? 3, did you wait for a candle to close to confirm the move? 4, is there volume to back it up? 5, does your momentum indicator, like the RSI, agree with you? And finally, 6 and 7, the ones we just covered, are your stop loss, take profit, and a solid 1-to-2 risk to reward clearly marked out? And here it is, the hardest part, but also the most important. This is the secret to real consistency. If you go through that list and even one single box isn't checked, the answer is simple. There is no trade. You close the chart and you walk away. Real discipline isn't about finding trades, it's about knowing when to sit on your hands. But wait, your job isn't over when the trade closes. In fact, that's when the most important work actually begins. This last part is what separates the traders who get better over time from the ones who are just stuck repeating the same mistakes over and over again. Look, if there is one habit, one single thing that separates winning traders from everybody else, it's this. They keep a detailed trading journal. If you're not writing down what you did, why you did it, and what happened, you have no data. You're not learning. You're just guessing. And check this out. It doesn't have to be some kind of epic novel. You're just logging the basic facts, right? The pair, the setup, your plan, the result. But that last box, that little lesson box, that is where the magic happens. That's where you figure out what you did right so you can repeat it, and what you did wrong so you never do it again. This is where you grow. And finally, all of this whole system, it's held together by your mindset. Are you revenge trading after a loss, trying to win your money back? Are you taking sloppy trades just because you're bored? You have to drill this into your head. A single loss that followed your plan is not a failure. It's a business expense. The only real failure is when you break your own rules. So I'm going to leave you with this one question. I want you to take a hard look at what you're doing in the markets right now and be honest. Are you methodically building a professional system designed to survive and win in the long run? Or are you just walking into a casino, placing bets, and hoping you get lucky? The choice is yours. And believe me, it will make all the difference.